Hi guys. It's funny how on television they say, drugs and haha, I did like a stage with faking having drugs and all that. And so in like on television and on media, you don't see actually, or on Google, you don't really see what it means to have experience with people who do drugs or anything. So I just want to share my opinion because it is literally the first time where I rented out a space, and it turns out those people were actually drug dealers or just consume drugs. So the first time, three people were this year, so everyone were like in some way involved with drugs. Either they consume drugs, or they promote some sort of substances, or they just do both. They consume and they sell. So this was actually the first time when I rented out this place. I mean, I thought, well, maybe I had bad luck, but now considering maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe people really want to rent out spaces, like mine for example, just to have a base for drugs. And let me explain why I'm doing this video. It turns out that people like that in the long term are actually very dangerous because this person, for example, was not actually taking a moment to reflect on his action at all. I asked him, repeatedly not to do drugs because, I'm this person, I don't do drugs, I don't like drugs, and, I really have strong reaction to this. Like, it can turn out that I can really have even blood coming out of my nose sometimes. So this is actually health issues that you, as someone who's not doing drugs, have to concern yourself with more than one time, especially if those people are gonna stay literally in the same apartment as you. And this is again what I want to talk about because I expressed this person's, problem more than one time with this person that was here. And it turns out they don't reflect on those actions. They continue to do this. So this is more like an addiction for them and a need that it's, out of question to give it up. Especially if you're living with someone who's not doing it and those people let you use the apartment. So let me explain once again the whole thread. First of all, those people come into your lease and they don't say anything like they do drugs or anything. After they sign the contract at a 1 day or two, they just say, briefly that they do substances, or they said the last experience with substances, or they even offer you substances. So the last person was literally handing me over, I don't know, some sort of weird crystals. I don't know exactly what was in that jar. I was like, yeah, have it. Like, I don't do drugs or anything. So that was one thing. That was basically on Tuesday, where he moved in on. So today's, let me see which date it is today. So the 28th. Basically, 1 week ago on the 20th, he moved in. So 1 week ago. In 1 week, so basically he was using drugs, he was smoking, also joints and that kind of stuff. And again, I thought maybe once because, you know, sometimes people do it more than one time, as it turns out, basically daily, basically more than one time. And it's not stopping. That's the point. It's not stopping, even if you asked him liberty not to do this anymore, because I asked him on Tuesday where his friend came over. They also did drugs. I don't know what exactly because they were in the separate room and I don't know exactly what they did. So after they finished, they came over to our kitchen and they were drinking out of our glasses and all that. And turns out we also were kind of consuming it without noticing. And at that moment, I really had this very weird feeling of vomiting constantly. And even after 2 days, it didn't go away or anything. But at that point, he had so many drugs. Every time when I came in his room or anything, I was feeling very ill, like this vomit feeling that I was having, or a very weird contortion on my left side of the stomach. But every substance, makes you feel different, sick, in a different way, sick. This type that he was having was just, having like problems with my digestion. So basically, my stomach was not feeling good. And it turns out, like yesterday, I even had problems, when I went to the toilet. So, it's like you are, how you are like, basically how you're pregnant and you cannot stop going to the toilet. Well, basically, this drug was just touching again this hormone, I guess, where I was literally wanting to go to the toilet like non-stop where I didn't drink so much. So please reflect a bit on what those substances actually do, even if you're not consuming them, because they literally destroy your health. Okay. um so that was basically Tuesday. Then 2 days he went away. I was still feeling sick about those 2 days. I tried to literally wash everything including the laundry, his clothes, and whatever I could feel like, because even my pillow, so basically this pillow, like this one that I use, I don't know how exactly it got in contact with substances, but you can imagine everything here was filled with some sort of dust. And when I put my head on it, guess what? It went into my hair. From hair, it came to my face. From my face, it went to my nose, to my mouth. And the whole night, basically, I was contagious with this type, okay? Even though I don't consume them. Same goes with anything, like sheets and, like normal stuff that you use for covering, during the night. Because, again, it comes, in the same way like wind blows, literally. If it comes on your pillow, you're gonna have it on your skin. I had to wash myself literally that night. I had to change my clothes, and maybe then I could rest, because I couldn't even sleep good at night because of this. Okay, so again, talking real experience with drugs, hand on. Okay, not like those media, haha, no, this is real bad experience. Okay. um so that was on Tuesday. On Thursday, I said, look, I'm not getting better, I'm getting sick. Okay, please stop using them, because I have nothing personal against you, nothing against personal people who do drugs or anything. Again, but it was the third time already. I was literally counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there was no stop, literally, if you want to consider that. So I was like, look, stop doing this, because it's not good for my health. You came here based on my approval. And why I live here, it's not good for my health. Okay, so I asked, what can we do about it? So what can we do so it works for the both of us? He was literally staying in on his bed, not answering or anything. Okay, and I was like, okay, so I'm pretty sure it's not the first time you come into someone else's home with drugs. What is the solution to all this? Because I would like to know. I mean, it's not like you can take a pill and everything. Like it's not like allergies or anything. This is like going into your throat, into your stomach, and you're not getting better. It's like, having a pet, but it's worse. It's actually not a pet. It's not organic. It's chemical, and again, it's destroying your lifestyle, your life. What's the point, anyways? So I asked him, what can we do about it? Because, there's no control, like I said, with the pillow and, the floor and whatever. If you smoke outside, the whole terrace is going to be filled with drugs, literally. Uh, I just look at the terrace again. I think he cleaned somehow, but I think like he just, draw some sheets, because he had some wet tissues. I think he just did all this with the wet tissues, like when I was not looking, I guess. And then what? You go to my bathroom and you flush the toilet. That's the response. I mean, I don't want you to use my toilet for drugs, okay? Because I remember like at one time, I don't know exactly, like in the first day, he was using the bathroom, and when he came out, in the garbage there were a lot of tissues with a lot of blood on it. I don't think it was when he was shaving, because there was so much blood. I don't think it was from shaving. I'm just saying, because you don't do so much blood from shaving. I mean, there were literally, so much tissues like this size filled with a lot of blood. So basically, even those people who use drugs more than one time can have health issues. Okay, so I saw it. I mean, literally, I'm this person. If blood comes out of you, definitely there's not an answer to health. Okay, and after that discussion on Thursday, so basically, so they Saturday 3 days ago. Okay, so 3 days ago. Okay, we talked about it, and his answer on Friday was, well, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna take, he's not gonna throw, he's gonna take all that stuff away. That was his answer. And he left like around 8 in the morning. yeah, I'm gonna be away for 2 hours or so. At that point, I said, look, I'm not gonna get any healthier. You're not giving me any answer or anything how I should, protect my health against drugs. And I reformed the lease where it states clearly that you're not allowed to do, produce, sell, or anything drug related because there are this type of forms. And I said, look, this we're gonna update the lease because we don't consider there are a lot of people doing drugs, but considering you don't change this for the lease, you're just gonna continue doing this. We have to continue doing the lease without substances. Okay, so basically our lease just stated again that it is not allowed. Okay, and I said, look, this is the updated form. When he came later, like during the night or so, he was very weird. I mean, it was also sides of him where, I mean, again, talking real life experiences with people who do drugs. He was literally expecting me to take his packages from the mail or something, where I was like, I, I literally don't know people who do other people's mails. Plus, we don't know each other that well. These are the usually replies from a lot of people. You can ask a favor, but you know it's not. I mean, coming from a person who he's doing substances and drugs, going to the mail doesn't sound like the thing you want to do unless this has cleared. So that was basically on the first day. On Friday again, I asked, look, you have to understand if you want to continue with the lease, you have to stop using drugs and everything. And then I asked, look, try to find a new rent. Try to find a new rent because we cannot do people who do substances. Is affecting our lifestyle, our home. I mean, I don't feel like this room has to be filled with substances. This is not the choice I want for renting. The whole purpose of renting is not to have this room filled with walls of substances. Okay, I don't want this pillow to be filled with substances or the sheets or anything. This is not what we're searching for. Okay, so again, we have updated the lease, and I send it to him and everything, where I saw like he didn't even sign the contract at all because I was not rushing anything because I felt like if it's gonna be a long term you should sign it because it's for you. But he didn't sign the initial contract. The secondary contract he didn't sign at all. And the whole conversation, again, me against this person who's doing drugs and not stopping. Okay, this is the scenario. He said, beside all that, but I think, again, talking real life experience with people who do drugs right now, he said, well, I didn't sign the lease at all, so apparently he doesn't have to abide to those rules at all or anything. It's like, look, you don't abide to the house rules, you don't abide to the rules where I was the one who accepted to have you here in the first place. You're destroying my health, and for what? I mean, I'm not renting for stuff like that. And the answer to our discussion was that he literally sealed this room with the key. I don't know exactly how he found a key to this, but he sealed the room with a key. And I could not access it anymore at all because he was sealing it every time when he went out. I asked him, look, I mean, this is not okay even that you have a key at this point because I really don't want to know what you're doing else in my house. And he just continued to do this. He was sealing the room when he was going away. He was sealing the room when he was going to the bathroom. He was sealing the bathroom. He was sealing the room. So I'm pretty sure at this point you understand he was just doing this not to me to literally notice again how he's doing drugs. Okay? Again, I tried to be nice. At all this week I tried to be nice, okay, because I don't want to be this person being harassing people, okay. But when he was sealing the room and for some reason he started to talk to his parents and where apparently I do such a bad job renting, and I said, look, dear parent, I don't know who you are. This is not okay. Your son is doing drugs. He's using my room as literally a drug dealing place. And that's the story. This is not okay. And apparently they want to stay longer, like 2 months or so. It's like, we don't accept your lease anymore, okay? Let alone you wanting to stay here longer. This is not happening, okay? So that was the whole discussion. In the end, he didn't stop consuming drugs. He was just stealing the room, and I could not have. I didn't even know, because I also went out yesterday, and I came back and I wanted to come here because this is the sleeping room and we have a lot of clothes here, okay? And I said, okay, let me change or something. Well, he was looking so bad at me because I wanted to enter the room and change or anything. I was like, look, man, this is my sleeping room and I have a lot of clothes here. And we didn't even decide what to do. I mean, he had also, like, look, let me just flip it. We have, like, this side of, the room. So basically half of it was given for the person renting and half was ours. He had space, okay? He also brought over a lot of stuff, which is okay. We can make it work. But if that was the answer to our plea not to do drugs, the second part of it was that this morning, around 8 or so, he was taking stuff out of my closet and throwing it out of the room. Okay, so everything you can imagine in the closet, all those clothes, like all this. Look, let me just, stuff like that. Sorry. Oh, I'm not okay. So all these clothes and a lot more because I had to clean up after him. All this, even the part like on the back of the door, everything, everything that he didn't need, he started to throw out of the room. That was mine, okay? And I said, what are you doing? It's like, well, this is my room. It's like, this is your way to do a rent? Seriously? You didn't even talk to me about it. You just started to trash out anything you don't need, okay? Because in the end, he just wanted, I think, the pillow and the whole furniture, basically, because he started, like, with everything on the closet, cleaning, like, is there a label to it or something? Because I'm pretty sure you're renting my space, okay? You're renting my space, and you didn't even talk about it. I mean, I wanted to be a normal person and not trash anyone, but excuse me, is this normal for people who do drugs to take possession from other people and throw them out? Is this normal? Because I want to know on the long term, because this is going, first you seal the room that you gave with my approval, and secondly, they started to trash your room and literally throw everything out without your consent. That is what you want to do as a drug leader? Is this the way of the drug leader? I understand you want to sleep with the fucking door open at night, because apparently this is your lifestyle, okay? This again, the 3 people came into this room. I know their fucking lifestyle. They opened their fucking room with this door open or whatever it is during the night. It feels like winter when you come here, and you always drink out of one bottle and you don't drink out of the glasses. This is everyone. You're not new, okay? But when you start to take stuff from my closet in my room and you throw it out without my consent and you seal the room like it's not mine at all, this is not okay. And there comes the second part, where I talked to multiple people, including the authorities, the police, and the anti-drugs and that kind of stuff. So the authorities, especially the police, they say nothing. Because I asked them, look, this is the third time when someone comes into my rent, they don't say they do drugs at all. They don't say anything at all before signing the lease or anything. And after that, what? You see people doing drugs at your home? And I said, what is the answer? Where you don't know that person at all, you don't know if they're doing drugs, they come into your lease and they start doing, anything that has to do with drugs, whereas we're not like that, okay? What is the answer? And I asked them more than one time. Yesterday once, today is the second time when I asked them. They have no answer. So real life people, real life, real talk. The authorities, at least the police, have no answer what to do when you are leasing a person to stay in your house and you don't know if they're drug dealers or not, but if you find out, there is no answer. Apparently, this is so normal. I mean, they even not consider my question at all. That was something that I really wanted to note on that, where it is super normal that you rent it to a person and by the way they do drugs, you know, and by the way they do drugs. So I was thinking again from my yeah, there's a fly. My health and my security in society. Every time when I lease to a person this room, when I lease to this person a room and they are doing drugs, even though we don't want that, and you don't say anything, like this is so normal to you, do you want people like this in the city to stay in the rent? Is this what you're telling me as a person who's not doing drugs at all and literally don't even want to talk about drugs at all? This is what you're telling me, where I literally, have some sort of, stuff that I have to pay for you to do your job as authorities, taxes. Why am I paying that? You're not doing anything for my security because I confronted you twice. Once where you steal the room for no reason. The second time, this same guy who's doing drugs, he was throwing, literally my stuff out of my room without my consent. The same person who's doing drugs, and you still don't say anything. This is your answer? I just want to know, because I'm not okay with that. In my opinion, this is not the reply I would like from an authority, where you say you protect people and you do so much stuff. I don't see that. So real talk, real life, I don't see it. I don't. And when that guy, so after he threw my stuff out, I was just, let me just show you how exactly it was. I was just perplexed, I guess. I literally did not know what was happening at all, because usually people who come into the rent, they don't throw your stuff out while you live there. And it was actually my apartment, so you throw my stuff that I have. It was not making sense to me. Okay, so the question that I want to address, actually, let me just see, because I really don't know where the picture is. Yeah, basically this one. So that was him when he was finishing throwing my stuff out. Do you want tenant like that, who literally throw your stuff out? Do you? I mean, you tell them, oh sorry, you give them a lease, okay, and everything. For what? So you as a landlord or anything, you see your stuff being thrown out and mistreated, or because even this room was mistreated, if you think about it, okay? All the substances are literally everywhere right now, and probably have to wash the room again, everything, considering my health as well when I sleep. Or use the room for anything, because if I breathe, then I know there are still substances here. Is this the type of tenant you want? And this the type of tenant you want to protect as an authority, as a police, as a anti-drug crew and all that? Is this what you want society to look like? Do you want people like that, who in their free time do drugs, smell like, drug dealers, and they're not really... We didn't talk at all. I mean, if you want to understand, he was just closing to the room, not coming out at all. Just after he was finishing this morning, like trashing my stuff out, he closed himself into the shower room, came out, and went outside like nothing happened. Your regular Saturday, basically. Is this the type of tenant you want, considering all that I've told you? I'm just asking. I mean, this doesn't look like the society I wanna live in, or Because again, on the media, you don't see stuff like that. You don't see actually the side of people actually being confronted with the situation, including with the authorities, where you don't know what to do, and they say, well, you have to throw them out, like in court or something. It's like, yeah, living with this person after this episode where he's trying to trash my stuff out, this is what I want, another month of waiting, thinking what he's gonna do next, because he's not stopping with the drugs, he's not stopping harassing my stuff. Is this the type of rent I want to have? Probably not. But the authorities don't do anything. I asked them again, look, he sealed the room. He literally sealed the room when he left. He sealed the room. I cannot go inside. Okay? This is my house and I want to go inside. It's like, yeah, but he rented this place. Like, look, I also was in rent here. Like a long time ago, 3 years. You didn't do any stuff for me when I was in rent. Basically, I had a whole apartment, and every time when I had problems with someone else, you were like, well, you're not a landlord, you're just a tenant. Now I'm the landlord. And a tenant apparently has enough right with this contract to do whatever they want with my stuff. This is the answer the authorities give to you. It's like, look, when I was a tenant, I was not treated like that. There was no police telling me, oh, you have a contract and they cannot throw you out. No, it was the fucking exact opposite. When I was in the rent, the authorities were harassing me, thinking, now going in a different subject, that apparently I do video chat for a life, and they were like harassing me every fucking week with the police. And of course, again, they wanna add some sort of money plea, because apparently I called them for this guy for a wrong reason. That was the second time when I called the police for this guy, and like the first time they said, well, we're just gonna ask money from you because this is the wrong reason. You don't have to call the police for us. It's like, So I have a drug dealer in my house harassing my home, and this is the wrong reason. The last time was the same, where I was the tenant. There was a guy also harassing me, like, I don't know why exactly he was doing it, including with the police and all that. It's like, well, you called the police for the wrong reason. So anything that I do as a girl, okay, as a girl, first of all, it's wrong. It's wrong for me to be a tenant. It's wrong for me to call the police when I don't feel secure in my home. It's wrong for me to call the police as a landlord when I'm, not feeling comfortable with this tenant. Everything is wrong when I do this as a girl. I know, because everyone else that I mentioned here are guys. Okay, that's the second part that I want to address. So we have a drug dealer, we have a male tenant, and always two male policemen. And here I am in this equation where I see that everyone is siding with the drug dealer tenant, not with the person who's not doing drugs and is not a boy. So I'm pretty sure that other women are out there, including guys maybe, who relate to this question, because if you don't do drugs and there are people in your life who do drugs, where people in authority say, yeah, it doesn't matter, it looks like, you're doing chewing gum. For them, it's literally the same thing, where it's not. Okay? So I just wanted to point this out, because it's not the same thing. And this is why I had to remove this guy. I had to remove this guy, because it was not safe for me to live with this person. A drug person, and two, I'm sorry, but he looked more like a psychopath, where he literally went Mia on my house. More I started to think I'm just gonna be thrown out of my own house, and this whole apartment is gonna be a drug dealing space. Do you want this type of tenant, these authorities? Do you? Because this is my sincere concern. Do you want good apartments that good people use to be transformed in drug dealing apartments? Do you want that? Do you want me to pay taxes for that? I don't think I will. And I'm sorry, my stomach is not indulging into all this. I'm sorry. So this is my experience. Because all the other ones were literally the same, but at least they left. This guy was not leaving. So I just wanted to point this out. Usually, drug dealers, they know if you're not doing drugs and they don't stay here. But you have a drug dealer and he's not leaving, and the authorities say this is okay, you have to get worried. Okay? You have to get worried. So this is why I just wanted to do this video, because I don't feel okay knowing that this guy can only show up at any moment and the authorities are not gonna do fucking shit to you. They're gonna say, yeah, no, yeah, he has the lease. Well, the lease was up when he was doing drugs, okay? So I'm just telling you because it's a Saturday, and until Monday, apparently I cannot go to the police for a statement because, yeah, well, the police, they don't work on Sunday, you know, but the drug dealers can always come back and whatever, they want to consume more, you know, because why would they not do that, you know? So basically, I don't usually do this because I just wanted to be a very nice person, but considering this person literally still has the key to our apartment and everything, and at any moment he can come back and do like it's a own house. I'm sorry, but this is literally the person. I just wanted to point this out, okay? And again, it's not like I want to do this, but considering the situation, I have to. I don't feel safe in this environment when the police is not doing anything for my protection. The anti-drug just want to fill papers with my name, and in the end I'm just gonna have an extra fee to pay because apparently I called the police for the wrong reason. This is not me, this is not what I want, and first of all, this space is not rentable for drug dealers. I hope you understand. That's the only reason why I want to do this video. First of all, there's no documentation on what to do. The police has no reply for this, okay? What to do when you have a drug tenant who a drug tenant. When you have a drug tenant, what do you do? That's actually the question. And how it's affecting your lifestyle, your security, including your house. Because I don't feel like I want this person to be here any longer, okay? So like this person, probably there are more people out there who literally do the same thing. They come into your house and they throw you out and they make it a drug base. I don't like that. So the authorities understand we are not here to pay taxes for that. If you want to encourage drugs and not be included as a topic in the media, I am sorry, because I don't want to live in this society. I'm not this person, okay? By all means, it's the same society who still thinks I do video chat for a living. I mean, you're not from the same party, you're still the same people. You always side who's you know, hitting a special corner for you. I don't hit none of those corners in that way. So I'm sorry, but the media is not really taking real life sometimes seriously, and I'm sorry for that because there's not enough documentation what to rely on, what to do for this situation as a citizen, okay? So this is why I do this video. Again, do understand my situation, why this is happening, and what could you have done? Because people ask me, like, I also wanted to know, do you give the money back for the lease for this type of people? Do you stay with those people 30 days after they've been removed? What do you do? Considering your health, your whatever, your lifestyle, your house, do you want to be kicked out of your own house? This is what you want when you do leases? And dear authorities, please do say, what do you do with a drug dealer when comes into your home? What do you do? We're not okay with that. Okay? Thank you.